Greetings, viewers. Welcome to a comprehensive exploration of the Book of Numbers from the King James Bible. I'm your guide on this enlightening journey through one of the more intriguing books of the Old Testament. Our focus today is the Book of Numbers, a narrative filled with rich stories, divine laws, and of course numbers. In the next 10 minutes, we'll weave through the historical context, delve into the census and organization of the tribes, wander through the wilderness with the Israelites, learn about divine laws and rituals, and decode the symbolism of numbers. We'll also reflect on the relevance of this book in our lives today. If you're as excited as I am to embark on this journey, consider subscribing for more biblical deep dives. Today, we embark on a 10-minute journey through this often overlooked but rich biblical narrative. Before we dive into the chapters, let's set the stage. Picture this. It's the 2nd millennium BC, and the Israelites have just been freed from centuries of bondage in Egypt. Their liberator Moses, under divine instruction, leads them not directly to the promised land, but into the wilderness. Here begins the narrative of the Book of Numbers. This wilderness, often seen as a barren and desolate place, is where the Israelites spend 40 years, a significant period in biblical numerology. But why the wilderness? Why the delay? The wilderness serves as both a place of testing and a place of formation. It's where the Israelites, freshly freed from Egypt, are molded into a nation under God. The journey is not a smooth one. The Israelites grapple with their newfound freedom, often rebelling against Moses and longing for the comforts of Egypt. They face numerous trials, from lack of water and food to attacks from hostile tribes. But each challenge is met with divine intervention. Manna from heaven, water from a rock, victories over enemies. These interventions serve not only to provide for their immediate needs, but to reinforce their trust in God's providence. But the wilderness is also a place of organization. Here, the Israelites are arranged into 12 tribes, each with its unique role and responsibility. They learn to function as a cohesive unit, a nation ready to conquer and settle in the Promised Land. The Book of Numbers also marks the transition from the old generation, those who experienced the Exodus firsthand, to a new generation. This new generation, born and raised in the wilderness, is the one that would eventually enter the Promised Land. The wilderness journey, in essence, is a bridge between the past and the future, linking the promise of liberation to the fulfillment of that promise. So, as we navigate through the Book of Numbers, bear in mind that it's more than just a record of a physical journey. It's a spiritual odyssey, a tale of transformation, of a people moving from bondage to freedom, from chaos to order, from being a group of disparate tribes to becoming a unified nation under God. It's a pivotal time marked by divine guidance, challenges, and the forging of a nation. Join me as we explore the significance of the census and the meticulous organization of the 12 tribes. The Book of Numbers opens with a kind of roll call, a census taking place at the foot of Mount Sinai. This was no ordinary head count. The Israelites were counted tribe by tribe, each one unique in its own right, each one with its own designated leader. Just like the different pieces of a puzzle, every tribe had a specific role to play in the grand scheme of things. The tribe of Judah, for instance, was entrusted with leading the march when the Israelites set out on their journey. The tribes of Reuben and Ephraim, on the other hand, followed suit. The Gershonites and Merarites were tasked with carrying the tabernacle and its accessories, while the Kohathites were given the responsibility of transporting the most sacred objects. This wasn't just a demonstration of orderliness or a military tactic, it was a reflection of divine design, a manifestation of God's wisdom. The Israelites were not just a motley crowd of escapees from Egypt, they were a nation in the making, an organized people with a sense of identity and purpose. Each tribe, each individual had a role to play in this divine drama. The census also had another profound significance. It was a testament to God's faithfulness to his promise to Abraham that his descendants would be as numerous as the stars in the sky. Despite the trials and tribulations they faced, the Israelites continued to grow in number, a living testimony to the unwavering constancy of divine promise. Moreover, the census was a way for the Israelites to prepare for the challenges that lay ahead. It was a means to assess their strengths, to identify their weaknesses, and to strategize their journey through the wilderness. It was about survival, yes, but it was also about growth, about moving forward as a unified nation under God's guidance. In essence, the census and the organization of the tribes were not just about numbers or logistics, they were about identity, unity, and divine guidance. They were about the transformation of a group of ex-slaves into a nation, a people chosen by God. So, as we delve deeper into the Book of Numbers, let's not forget the significance of these initial chapters. They set the stage for the narrative that unfolds, a narrative of faith, obedience, and divine providence. They remind us that every individual counts, that everyone has a role to play in the grand scheme of things, and that God's promises are always fulfilled. Numbers kicks off with a detailed count, highlighting the uniqueness of each tribe and their specific roles in the nomadic journey. The heart of Numbers lies in the accounts of the Israelites' experiences during their wilderness wanderings. Imagine a vast desert landscape, a sea of sand and dunes stretching as far as the eye can see. This was the backdrop of the Israelites' 40-year journey, a crucible of faith and endurance. While the journey was physically demanding, it was the spiritual and emotional trials that truly tested the Israelites. They grappled with faith, obedience, and the constant tension between human frailty and divine expectation. In their wanderings, the Israelites faced numerous challenges. Food and water were scarce, leading to instances of rebellion against Moses and Aaron. The people's grumbling betrayed a lack of faith, revealing their struggles with obedience and patience. They longed for the comforts of Egypt, forgetting the harsh reality of their bondage. Yet, in the midst of their complaints and rebellion, divine interventions shone like beacons of hope. When the people were famished, God sent manna from heaven, a sweet bread-like substance that covered the ground like dew. When they were thirsty, water gushed forth from a rock at God's command. Miraculously, their clothes and sandals did not wear out, and a pillar of cloud and fire guided them, providing shade by day and light by night. These divine interventions were not merely acts of provision, but also potent reminders of God's faithfulness and care for His people. They underscored the covenant between God and Israel, a promise of protection, provision, and guidance. But the wilderness wanderings were more than a series of challenges and divine interventions. They were a classroom of faith, a training ground for a nation destined to inherit the promised land. The lessons learned in this harsh landscape were invaluable, shaping the Israelites' identity and faith. One such lesson was the importance of obedience. Time and again, the Israelites learned that disobedience led to dire consequences, from fiery serpents to deadly plagues. Conversely, obedience brought blessings and divine favor. Another lesson was the significance of trust. In the wilderness, the Israelites learned to depend on God for their daily needs, from food and water to guidance and protection. This dependence fostered a deep trust in God's provision and faithfulness. Finally, the wilderness wanderings taught the Israelites about God's holiness and His desire for a holy people. From the laws given at Sinai to the construction of the tabernacle, the Israelites learned that God was not only their provider and protector, but also their holy God who demanded reverence and righteous living. In conclusion, the wilderness wanderings were a pivotal chapter in the Israelites' journey, a period marked by trials, divine interventions, and invaluable lessons. They were a testament to God's faithfulness and a beacon of hope for a nation in the making. We've delved into the challenges they faced, the divine interventions witnessed, and the lessons learned in their journey towards the promised land. Numbers isn't just about numbers, it's a repository of divine laws and rituals. This fifth book of the Bible serves as the blueprint for the religious and societal norms that would shape the Israelite nation. Central to these norms is the establishment of the Levitical priesthood. The Levites, descendants of Levi, one of Jacob's 12 sons, were entrusted with the sacred task of serving in the tabernacle. This wasn't just any job, it was a divine calling. The Levites acted as mediators between the people and God, offering sacrifices, maintaining the sanctuary's purity, and teaching the laws. The tabernacle, or the tent of meeting, was another crucial element. It was more than a structure, it was a physical manifestation of God's presence among the Israelites. The construction of the tabernacle was a meticulous process, with explicit instructions on its design, materials, and even the arrangement of its contents. Everything, from the Ark of the Covenant to the lampstand, had a specific place and purpose, reflecting the order and precision of divine design. Then, there were the rituals, the daily, weekly, monthly, and annual practices that shaped Israelite worship. These included the daily burnt offerings, the Sabbath rest, the Passover, the Day of Atonement, and many others. Each ritual served as a reminder of God's sovereignty, their covenant with Him, and the need for continual atonement and purification. These divine laws and rituals were not arbitrary. They were intended to guide the Israelites in their relationship with God, to remind them of His holiness, and to cultivate a sense of community and shared identity. They served as a constant reminder of their unique calling and mission as God's chosen people. So as we journey through Numbers, we don't just encounter a narrative of wanderings and warfare. We find a detailed guide to a way of life, a spiritual blueprint designed to shape a nation and its relationship with the divine. We've explored the establishment of the Levitical priesthood, the construction of the tabernacle, and the rituals that shaped Israelite worship. Numbers is rich in numerical symbolism. It's like a treasure trove waiting to be discovered, with each number holding profound spiritual significance. Take 7, for instance. In the world of numbers, 7 isn't just a number, it's a symbol of completion and divine perfection, evident in the 7 days of creation. It echoes the rhythm of life, the rhythm of the divine. Then we have the number 40. It's a symbol of testing and trial. Remember the 40 years the Israelites wandered in the wilderness? Or the 40 days Moses spent on Mount Sinai? Instances like these aren't mere coincidences. They're carefully crafted narratives using numbers as a tool to convey deeper truths. So, as we navigate through the Book of Numbers, let's not overlook the symbolic language of numbers. They're not just digits, they're keys to understanding the spiritual dimensions of this remarkable book. Discover the deeper meanings behind specific numbers such as 7 and 40 and how they convey spiritual significance throughout the narrative. As we conclude, we'll discuss the enduring relevance of numbers in our lives today. This ancient text, part of the King James Bible, carries themes that echo through the ages and into our modern world. One of the most prominent themes is obedience, a principle that continues to hold value not just in religious contexts but in various aspects of life. It fosters discipline, respect, and harmony. Next, we have divine guidance, a theme that encourages us to seek wisdom and direction beyond our limited perspectives. It reminds us that there are greater forces at work, guiding our steps and shaping our destinies. Lastly, we encounter the complexities of faith, an exploration that pushes us to question, to wrestle with doubts, and ultimately, to grow. This theme resonates with anyone on a spiritual journey, challenging us to understand and embrace the nuances of belief. Its themes of obedience, divine guidance, and the complexities of faith offer timeless lessons for our spiritual journeys. Thank you for joining me on this 10-minute odyssey through the Book of Numbers. It's been an intriguing journey, hasn't it? Unraveling the intricate tapestry of numbers, narratives, and divine laws that make up this unique book of the King James Bible. Every page, every verse, every number is a treasure trove of wisdom waiting to be discovered. If you found this exploration insightful, I invite you to press the like button. It's a small action, but it makes a big difference. And don't be shy about sharing your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspectives, your insights, your questions. For more biblical deep dives like this, consider subscribing. There's a wealth of knowledge in these ancient texts, and I'm eager to share that journey with you. I'm your guide through the pages of the King James Bible. Until next time, stay curious and stay enlightened.